What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more soundtrack music, and I'm very excited. We're going to listen to a tune from the Trigun soundtrack, not for the first time. A couple years ago I did a reaction to a tune from this soundtrack called Permanent Vacation. It was sort of a one-off at the time. I was going through soundtrack and score reactions a bit randomly, and that one I did because it has some of the most incredible saxophone work I've ever heard, and it's not the only track on the soundtrack with some great saxophone. But I just began doing a watch-along for Trigun, the anime from 1998, not to be confused with the anime from 2023 called Trigun Stampede, of which I have seen nothing. But yes, I have seen the original anime from 98 multiple times, though not in a few years, which is going to make this watch-along that I'm just beginning now on my Patreon all the more enjoyable. And I since, after I first saw the anime, ended up getting some of the manga upon which it's based, though it was after I had seen the anime. In any case, the score or soundtrack is very wide-ranging. There's tunes that have a lot of dissonance, and they're very wicked, up to tunes that are very elegant and beautiful and sonorous. There's tracks with drum and bass, there's tunes with rock and roll, lots of saxophone, jazz. It's really all over the place, which I think is indicative of the wide range of emotions and activity in the show narratively, as well as the wide gamut of emotional behavior from the main character Vash the Stampede. So yes, we're going to listen to a track by the series composer Imahori Tsuneo, who is not only a composer but he's a guitarist, which makes me think this is probably him playing guitar on the tune that is used for the opening credits music. It's called HT. So yes, it's a very energetic track. It's rock and roll, but it's really sort of guitar-led. There are drums and they are very prominent, but I feel like the guitar is the standout element. And it has a lot of energy, it's got a lot of brightness. It's not overly bright or overly dark, it just speaks to the power and activity that is going to characterize the show you're about to watch as you see the opening credits. And there's a moment in particular I like when it sort of, there's a like a double percussive hit, and it sort of culminates and becomes like the peak of the track, and that's when they show the word Trigun. So they seemingly coordinated the opening sequence to fit with the sonic progression of the tune. And yeah, I just think it's a really fitting track to get you ready to watch an anime that has a lot of energy and activity in it. So with no further ado, let's listen to it. This is a track by Imahori Tsuneo from the Trigun original anime 1998 soundtrack, and it's called HT. Rocking. Again, I just love the stage that sets sonically for what's about to follow, though once again, let me insist, the score features tracks all across the map. Jazz, piano music, down-tempo music, oldie-timey music, like a saloon organ track. I mean, it's just really all over the place. And I should mention, I'll put a link to the Patreon series watch along that I've just started right now. Again, it only has one video in it. I watched the first 3 episodes, but I hope to keep the rest coming, and part 2 should be very soon, or the second installment, I should say. And yes, there's 26 episodes, I believe, so it's not quite as long as the watch along I did for Death Note, which has 37 episodes, but certainly a lot of ground to cover. So as I said, I hope to keep them coming relatively rapidly. And as I said, I'm going to go through a few tracks. And in fact, I think there's nearly as many tracks in the soundtrack as there are episodes. I think it's over 20 anyway. And yes, I plan to do one more in this batch, but I'm going to try to coordinate them a little bit so that I don't listen to tunes too far ahead, meaning there's some tracks that you don't hear until well into the story, so I'll try to coordinate it somewhat, but I may still jump around. So in any case, I'm very much looking forward to it, and those who would like to check out the watch along and take part in the narrative journey would be greatly appreciated too. So as I said, I'll put a link in the video description. Shout out to Imahori Tsuneo for the guitar writing, if not the playing, though I'm thinking it is in fact both. And as I said, I love that flash moment where it really just ratchets up, and it does it twice. I forgot that it did it twice. It does it at the front end and then the back end, but that is my favorite moment in the tune. In any case, let me know what you think of this one. As I said, I'll be back for one more from the soundtrack in this batch. So Luca and I will see you then. Peace.